what do you think? It's just as valid to believe in aliens and, Sasquatch as it is God?
I think the amount of belief that you give something is always going to be conditional on how unlikely it is, as well as how good is the quality of the evidence.
Yeah.
And the things that you've named are things that are very unlikely, I guess Sasquatch being a little less unlikely than aliens, and also have pretty terrible evidence supporting them. So I wouldn't put them on a scale where I say they're exactly the same amount of believable. I'd just say all of them are not very believable right now.
Okay, I was saying that there is way more probability, though, to even believe in aliens and Sasquatch than there is God. I mean, at least we have a face on Sasquatch, or a depiction of what he looks like, and videos and picture evidence. So
well,
I think
I don't think we do.
Probability-wise,
I think we have people's, claims of what Sasquatch looks like. But,
right, and we have like blurry photos that people took saying I think I just saw Sasquatch.
Yeah.
But but none of it really rises to the level of good evidence.
Well, if you talk about eyewitness testimony, for example, I do agree, and I think you guys would agree that it is the lowest form of evidence that we can have.
Oh, there's worse than eyewitness. I mean, there's a reason there is a thing called hearsay in court.
Yeah.
Like that is definitely even worse than eyewitness testimony, and that's why we don't necessarily put things on a objective scale of some kind.
Right. Well, I would say, the reason we use eyewitness testimony is different than just saying hearsay. We use that in courts of law to base a logical conclusion on, and I think we can do that same with things like aliens and even mass sightings and things like that. You had the Phoenix Lights incident in '96. Hundreds and hundreds of people they all claim to see the same thing, the same craft. It wasn't like 100 people were all giving different stories and different,
Yeah, but again, it hinges not only on how good the evidence is, and I think most lawyers would tell you that eyewitness testimony is not really good enough to base a case on most of the time. But it also depends on how unusual and how unlikely the claims are. Like, if you take something to court, you're usually trying to establish that, somebody signed a contract that they didn't fulfill, or somebody killed somebody. And those claims are things that we have observation of having happened all the time throughout human history. So while a particular person killing another person is a pretty rare event, it's also a not very implausible event in reality. Right. Whereas saying that somebody was abducted by aliens, you need way more than your standard court evidence to make that case.
Yeah, and if you wanted to, at least, though, I don't know, probability-wise, though, you don't think 100 people were lying about what they saw. Now, I'm not saying it was aliens.
They could be.
They could have, yeah.
Now,
they could all be mistaken, too.
Yeah,
that's possible.
Yes. I mean, mass... I guess sort of this mass hallucination phenomenon, or a mass delusion thing, is not unheard of.
That's possible.
And so they don't have to be lying. And so when a lot of people claim they saw the same thing, I don't assume that necessarily that they're all lying, because they all
could be an illusion or misinterpretation, or that's a possibility too. But that's something I'd need evidence for me to believe that. We have to have evidence that. For maybe they were all tripping on acid. I don't know.
Well, but the thing is,
that's something like that.
That's the question when it comes down to, is it more likely that 100 people had some kind of, mistaken impression of something that happened based on, their perception that this phenomenon matched a certain, preconceived notion of what was happening, or is it more likely that some aliens actually were, flying in formation over some city or something.
Yeah, well,
which one is more plausible?
I'm not jumping to the conclusion that it even is aliens. I'm just saying I have no idea what it was. They claim they saw a craft that was a mile long, so close and hovering silently that they can throw a rock. Now, I don't know if they're telling the truth.
Yeah.
But I mean, you don't generally have to go even as far as they were all having an acid trip or they were all colluding to tell a lie. It could be that a bunch of people saw something weird and unexplained. I mean, just hypothetically, and that they all got together and talked, which people do all the time. Yep. And one of the guys was like, hey, maybe it was an alien spacecraft. And another guy said, yeah, that makes sense. And then once you get a critical mass of people just reaching the same conclusion, people start to retroactively adjust their stories and their memories. This isn't unlikely at all. That happens all the time. And that's why stuff like people seeing, to use an example that Tracy loves, like they all see the sun jumping across the sky really quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't have to be explained by a huge acid trip or a giant conspiracy. It could just be people going along with crowdthink.
Yeah, I mean, that's just one example out of many. I mean, these are detailed accounts, and it does seem like there's corroborating evidence, corroborating testimonies to the same thing. And that's what I base on what makes eyewitness testimony strength. How many people there are.
Are you trying to convince us that aliens did visit the Earth, or are you just coming up with this as an example?
Well, I'm not trying to convince anything. I just think the probability of all the eyewitnesses and all of the pictures and videos.
So you do think aliens visited the Earth?
Based on the evidence and eyewitness testimony, which if that's all I had to go by, I'd say probably.
I think your standards are too low.
Yeah.
Well, I had another example as well. I mean, we have 400 plus government officials and military personnel who've all come forward with their highly detailed, classified projects that they worked on. People who can corroborate. I mean,
what
would they really have to?
They corroborated what exactly?
Well, that there are types of, things. Classified projects that they're working on.
Oh,
they exist.
I believe you. There are classified projects they're working on. That is true.
Okay.
Right.
So I'm gonna tell you a little story. Let me tell you a little story. There is somebody out there in internet land that I know that I actually used to date. Okay. Yep. And she was in the Army, and so she's kind of put herself out there as kind of this authority on this, and she's claiming that there's something to this whole chemtrail thing. The government is producing the chemtrails, and there's some stuff in those chemtrails. And
Mind control stuff, right?
Not good for you.
Right, yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't go that. I feel like I'm not going that far down.
You're going way past that, dude. If you're saying that there's aliens, you're way past chemtrails.
Well, not only that aliens visited the Earth, but also that there was a massive government cover-up to stop people from finding it out.
Because I'm
Men
telling
in Black was not a documentary.
Yeah, because this friend of mine.
Oh well, I don't know that.
Okay.
All I'm saying is this is what they have said. These are their claims.
Yes, and she's claiming that this is all top secret, and she had access to this stuff, and she is totally full of shit.
But could it be possible she's telling the truth?
No.
Ooh.
No, there's not even a possibility in your mind that there could be. She may be telling the truth.
Based on what she did in the Army? No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know.
She could believe she's telling the truth, though, right?
She probably does believe she's telling the truth. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think where we differ on is what we think is more likely and probable in these cases. And I don't know. I just see the body of evidence, and I just see everything all the claimed evidence. I'm not going to say that they're all fake, and I'm sure as hell not going to say they're all real. I'm going to say I don't know. We have to investigate more. Find out, are these pictures tampered with? Are these videos tampered with? Are these military and government people lying or something or misinterpret. I don't know. I'm not just going to jump and throw that in. I'm not
maybe you should
assert that.
Maybe instead of calling us, calling a couple of atheists on a show, what you should do is go undercover and investigate this stuff.
Yeah.
Like actually
or
find it out, because you could blow the story wide open.
Yeah, don't even go undercover. Just go out and, because they publish, it's on YouTube, right? You can find this stuff.
Right, that's authoritative.
Yeah. So,
well,
all right.
Yeah, go.
Good luck, though. Let us know how it turns out.
Yeah.
Right. I was only calling to say that the comparison I felt was unfair. Even if you didn't believe in Bigfoot and aliens, at least we do have a description. So I don't know.
But we don't.
I'd say, well, I'm just saying we at least have somewhat of details. We have nothing on God. We have no picture or video or anything.
We have
I'm just
nothing
saying that
on
at
aliens.
least we have more.
That's true. Okay. Thanks for calling.
All righty.
See ya.
All right.